Imagine the rush you feel when the opening notes of your favorite song hit, the same surge that decides whether you stay up late binge-watching a series.
Our brains are wired for stories, for rhythm, for the images that flood our screens every day. The memes you scroll, the heroes you idolize, the playlists you repeat, they are not just background noise. They are actively reshaping the way you think, feel, and even see yourself. Welcome to Mind and Media, the place where we decode how everyday culture shapes our mental lives. When we talk about pop culture, we mean everything from the latest blockbuster and viral TikTok dance to the classic comic book panels you grew up with, the fashion trends that dominate your feed, and the video games that keep you glued to the controller. Psychology, on the other hand, is the study of how we process information, how emotions rise and fall, how we build our identity and navigate social worlds. When these two worlds collide, the result is a powerful feedback loop that can lift us up, pull us down, or steer us toward new possibilities. Why does this matter right now? Streaming services have turned binge-watching into a nightly ritual. Algorithm-driven feeds serve up endless streams of content tailored to your preferences, and mental health concerns are on the rise like never before. In this climate, the stories we consume and the sounds we love are more than entertainment. They are daily doses of psychological influence that can shape our mood, our memory, and even our sense of purpose. We'll explore 3 powerful ways pop culture rewires our brains.
First, we'll look at how narratives and identity intertwine, showing how the characters we love become mirrors for our own aspirations.
Second, we'll dive into the science of music, mood, and memory, uncovering why a single chorus can trigger a cascade of dopamine and bring a forgotten summer rushing back. Finally, we'll examine memes and social media, the bite-sized cultural units that train our brains to seek quick rewards and shape collective belief. Let's start with narratives and identity. Storytelling is an ancient survival tool. From cave paintings that told hunting tales to modern movies that explore futuristic worlds, stories have always helped us make sense of the unknown. Neuroscience tells us that when we imagine ourselves inside a story, a network called the default mode network lights up, essentially turning the brain on its internal storytelling mode. This network is active when we daydream, recall past experiences, and imagine future scenarios. By immersing ourselves in a plot, we are rehearsing real-life situations in a safe, simulated environment. This rehearsal isn't just mental exercise, it feeds directly into identity formation. Social identity theory explains how we categorize ourselves into groups: fans of a particular superhero, members of a music subculture, followers of a gaming community. When you say, "I'm a Gryffindor," or "I'm a Marvel fan," you're not just stating a preference, you're aligning yourself with a set of values, traits, and narratives that define how you see the world. Cosplayers who spend hours crafting a costume are essentially embodying the traits of their chosen character, reinforcing those qualities within themselves. Consider the classic hero's journey that underpins Star Wars. The saga follows a young farmer who discovers his destiny, faces trials, and ultimately embraces a role larger than himself. Psychologists have linked this structure to resilience building, showing that viewers who identify with the protagonist's struggle often adopt a growth mindset, believing that obstacles can be overcome through perseverance. The narrative becomes a template for personal goal setting, prompting viewers to frame their own challenges as part of an epic quest. Think back to the last character you felt a deep connection with. What part of their story resonated with you? Was it their triumph over adversity, their quirky humor, or perhaps their relentless curiosity? That moment of resonance is your brain signaling that the narrative has tapped into a core part of your identity, reinforcing certain values and motivations.
If this is blowing your mind, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep exploring together.
But the story doesn't stop at dopamine. A second wave of chemicals, oxytocin and cortisol, also play their parts.
Oxytocin, often dubbed the love hormone, can increase when you sing along with a crowd or share a playlist with a close friend, strengthening social bonds.
Cortisol, on the other hand, can spike during a tense cinematic score, priming your body for heightened alertness. The balance of these chemicals helps explain why a sad ballad can bring tears, while an upbeat dance track can give you the energy to hit the gym. Music also acts as a powerful tag for memories.
Think about a summer road trip you took as a teenager. The windows down, the wind in your hair, and a particular song looping on the radio.
Neuroscientists refer to this as music-dependent memory, where the auditory cue becomes a key that unlocks a whole scene from your past. The brain's hippocampus, the region responsible for forming and retrieving memories, often fires in sync with the auditory cortex when a familiar song plays. This is why a single note can instantly transport you back to a specific moment, complete with the smells, colors, and emotions you felt at the time. Socially, music is a glue that binds groups together.
Think of a massive festival where thousands of strangers move as one, or a viral TikTok dance that spreads across continents in a matter of hours.
Mirror neurons fire when we observe others moving to a rhythm, creating a shared sense of pleasure and belonging.
This collective experience can reinforce group identity, much like the fandoms we discussed earlier, but with an added layer of physiological synchrony.
When you watch a crowd sway in unison, your own heart rate and breathing can subtly align with theirs, fostering a feeling of unity that transcends language and culture. So how can you harness this knowledge for your own well-being? One practical tip is to curate playlists that match the mood you want to cultivate. If you need to concentrate, instrumental tracks with a steady tempo can help keep distractions at bay. For relaxation, ambient sounds or slow-tempo acoustic songs can lower cortisol levels and promote calm.
When you're feeling down, an upbeat anthem can boost dopamine and lift your spirits.
The key is to be intentional about the soundtrack of your day, treating music as a tool rather than a background filler. Now, let's shift gears and explore the visual side of pop culture movies, television, video games, and those endlessly scrolling memes that dominate our feeds. Visual media engage the brain's predictive coding system, a mechanism that constantly generates expectations about what will happen next and updates those expectations based on what we actually see.
This is why a well-crafted plot twist feels so satisfying. Your brain has been primed to anticipate one outcome, only to be pleasantly surprised when something different occurs.
That surprise triggers a burst of norepinephrine, sharpening attention and enhancing memory consolidation. The cinematic experience also taps into what psychologists call emotional contagion. When you watch a character experience joy, fear, or heartbreak, you often mirror those emotions through subtle facial expressions and physiological responses. This mirroring is mediated by the mirror neuron network, which helps us understand and empathize with others. In a way, watching a powerful drama can serve as a rehearsal for real-life emotional situations, allowing us to practice empathy and emotional regulation in a safe environment. Video games take this a step further by offering interactive narratives where you are not just a passive observer, but an active participant. Studies have demonstrated that immersive gaming can improve spatial reasoning, problem-solving skills, and even increase gray matter density in regions associated with memory and strategic planning.
The sense of agency you feel when you make choices that affect the storyline can also strengthen self-efficacy,
reinforcing the belief that you have control over outcomes in your own life. Memes, the quick-fire, often humorous snapshots that flood our social feeds, might seem trivial, but they play a subtle yet powerful role in shaping cultural norms and collective attitudes. A meme that captures a shared sentiment can spread like wildfire, creating a common reference point that unites strangers across the globe. This phenomenon relies on a cognitive shortcut known as the availability heuristic, where vivid, easily recalled examples influence our judgments and beliefs. When a meme repeatedly highlights a particular stereotype or behavior, it can subtly shift public perception, reinforcing or challenging societal narratives. Because memes are built on repetition and variation, they also exploit the brain's pattern recognition circuitry.
The pleasure of spotting a familiar visual cue paired with a novel twist activates the reward system, encouraging you to share it further.
This loop of anticipation and reward fuels virality, turning simple images into cultural touchstones that can influence everything from political discourse to brand perception. All of these elements, stories, music, visual media, and memes, interact in a complex web that continuously reshapes our cognitive architecture. They are not just entertainment. They are tools that can either support mental health or, if consumed without awareness, contribute to anxiety, comparison, and burnout. The key is mindfulness, recognizing when a particular piece of pop culture is affecting your mood or self-image, and then deciding whether to lean into it or step back. Think about the last time a movie left you feeling inspired. What specific scene sparked that feeling, and how did it change your outlook for the day? Or consider a song that instantly calmed you during a stressful moment. What was it about the rhythm or lyrics that resonated? Sharing those experiences in the comments can help us all see the diverse ways pop culture touches our lives.
If you've found these insights useful, a simple like lets the algorithm know you enjoy deep dive content, and a comment lets us keep the conversation going.
And if you haven't already, consider subscribing so you won't miss future episodes where we unpack the hidden psychology behind the trends that shape our world. Until next time, keep listening, keep watching, and keep questioning the stories that shape who you are.